Hello, people of the internet, this is MandKXbox. I'm Moggy Ben, and today we're going to be looking at the Jackson Tier 6 American Tank Destroyer. So, this tank is up the non-turreted version of the tech tree, along the T40 Wolverine one, along to the T110E3. However, the Wolverine and the Jackson do have turrets. However, once you get past that, there is no turret. So, Jackson compared to the Hellcat, obviously we know the Hellcat goes much faster, but let's see what makes the Jackson so much better. Now, the main thing that makes the Jackson better than the Hellcat is the armour. However, if you do look at the armour, it says that the hull armour is 114mm at the front, 25 at the side and 25 rear. And the turret armour is 76 at the front, 25 at the side and 25 at the back as well. However, this 114mm only applies to this bit here, where I'm running my cursor, this square bit here. So all of this bit up here, even though it is sloped pretty well, this is only 25mm thick. So obviously that's better than the Hellcat's 13mm I think it's got, but it's still, you know, not very good. You're still going to get penetrated by everything that there is. So the gun mantler, this here is spaced armor, so obviously this 76mm is going to be increased, and it's pretty well sloped as well, so something shoots you there at tier 6, you're probably going to bounce it as well. People are going to shoot you here, this is also going to bounce because that's actually pretty well sloped as well. Now, it's got 590 hit points, which I don't have any other tier 6 tank destroyers, so if we have a look at the Hellcat has, where is it? I can't find how many hit points it has. Vehicle details, hit points 550, so the Jackson has more than the Hellcat with 590, so it's actually got quite a lot more than its brother, I guess you could call it. So let's have a look at the Germans. The tier 6 in the Germans is the Jagdpanzer 4. He has 600, so it's got 10 less than the Jagdpanzer 4. What about the, well, we won't look at the French, but the Russian, the SU-100, he has 580. So the Jackson's actually pretty high up there in hit points wise. So the load that I've got at the moment is 29 tons out of 30 tons and a half, and I have no equipment loaded onto this thing. However, I do have the best track, so you could probably load some things on. So to start with the Jackson, you get this 76mm gun, which you get from the Wolverine here. You have to research it to get to the Jackson. Then this 90mm gun, if you've already gone down the Hellcat line, you will have this, and as you can see, it's used on the Hellcat, the T25-2, the T25-AT, the Jackson. So if you've already gone down the turreted version, you will already have this gun. However, this gun is a necessity, because if you compare these two guns, so if we move this, then the 90mm gun, obviously it does a lot more penetration, 32mm more penetration. Obviously you lose a bit of rate of fire, however the fact that you increase damage by 125 not millimeters, what the hell am I on about? You know, the fact that you increase your damage by 125, that's amazing. The aiming time's the same, the dispersion's the same, so this is the much better gun. You definitely want to get on a hold of that gun. Now the engine, this is the best engine. It has 420 horsepower. You can use this on the Wolverine as well, so you'll already have this unlocked. However, if you've just somehow skipped through the Wolverine, then you will have this engine, which is probably the worst engine, and as you can see, it's 350 horsepower. This thing is going to be sluggish with this engine. It is going to be awful. So as you can see, you get this on the Sherman, the Wolverine, the Jackson, the Hellcat, the M7. So if you've gone down any of them lines, you'll have this engine anyway. But you just want to get this engine as soon as possible. I believe, I don't know whether it tells you how much it is to research. No, it doesn't. I don't think it's that much. Yeah, research cost 1,400. So you definitely want to get this engine. Tracks. The load is 30.5, and with these tracks it's 28, so you don't get much more load. However, the traverse speed does increase by 2 degrees a second, which makes this tank a lot more maneuverable, and that is definitely a good thing. Now, as you can see on here, this picture, that's the first turret, this tier 5 turret, with 76mm 25-25, and this turret is exactly the same armor. It does exactly the same traverse speed, however you don't get any more view range at all, and all it does is weighs a bit more. However, because the fact that this is open top and this one isn't, being shot straight in there by RT isn't going to absolutely wreck you instantly. So it's not actually a bad thing getting this turret. However, I would personally leave this to last unless you're going to leave the radio, because as you can see with the radio you can use it in all these tanks here. So you're bound to get this, and the fact that it's 5,600 on a radio for a tank destroyer, it's not really needed that much. Anyway, so having a look at the stats here, 420 horsepower, that's pretty good, means you've got a pretty good power to weight ratio. I don't know whether it tells you the power to weight ratio, no it doesn't. But this thing does shift off the line, it does actually go pretty fast. Speed limit 42. I don't know whether it would reach 42, but it definitely reach about 40. So that's pretty good. 30 traverse speed is it's pretty good. It means this tank is quite maneuverable. So, you know, not as maneuverable as the Hellcat, but still pretty maneuverable. Hull armor, as we've said, standard shell damage we've already talked about, penetration, 7.5 rounds a minute with this gun is not bad, with an 8.56 reload time. That's actually pretty good for a 90mm gun. This 90mm gun spitting one shot out at 8.56 seconds and doing on average 240 damage. That is pretty good. You're going to be able to, you know, destroy some tier 6s and definitely tier 7s sometimes without even knowing that you're there. You know, the accuracy of this gun is brilliant as well. The signal range 395 meters and the view range 370 meters. It's okay for a tier 6 tank destroyer. It's about average. So this thing, it does perform well in battle actually. You know, the fact that it has the turret means that it can get out of some sticky situations. But yeah, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to go into some battles and I'm going to show you the Jackson in action. Okay, we're back. So this is a battle on Northwest in the Jackson. It's a tier 7 game, 38% chance to win, so it's a possibility we couldn't win. Now I'm having to record these live because for some reason my replays aren't working whatsoever. I cannot get replays to work, so even if I did get a good replay in the Jackson, I wouldn't be able to show you it because the replay system isn't working for me. I can't get World of Tanks to open it. It just, I don't even know why it doesn't work. Okay, so the Jackson, as I said, 90mm gun here, pretty slow, but a bit better armor than the Hellcat. So I'm gonna go down to the bottom and hope that I don't get ambushed by the tier 7s. Those two E25s number 2 are going to be very dangerous. And that Panzermissile 5 as well, he can be pretty dangerous because that gun of his is pretty deadly. So what have we got coming down here? T-34-85, two T-34-85s, and 12T, an MT-25, and me Jackson. Looks like there's a VK-301D coming down there as well. So actually we've got a pretty good movement down here. So there's a 12T there, can't see. Another 12T actually. Is he going to show himself? He's going to show himself a little bit. Okay, I missed that shot. But the T-34-85 hasn't taken his yet. So I'm going to move up behind this rock here. And I'm going to wait and see if that 12T pokes himself out, which he will, at 247 damage. There we go. So the gun doesn't have that much alpha. However, it is a very good gun. So I'm going to wait for him to poke out again, and then if he doesn't, T-34-85 is going to go around there. Actually, he's going to get finished off. So I'm going to wait for the AMX to pull out. There he is. Bam, finish him off. One kill. No damage taken so far. So I'm going to come round here. I can see that they're pushing through the middle, so I'm hoping that the Black Prince and BDRG-1B back there will be able to hold them off. So I'm going to come around here. So Panzer SFL5 is down there, so he could do with some killing. I just want to check what's around this corner. Oh, there's a 12T there. Okay, I'll pull back. He's auto-loaded. Go out, take my shot, pull back in. 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Poke out again just enough to see the 12T and tracked him. Didn't do any damage to him. 3, 2, 1. He's not looking anymore. Go out. Take a shot. Kill him. Now I want to repair my ammo rack here. 2. There we go. Panzer SFL is still down there, so I want to move across here fairly swiftly. He's not looking at me. Take a shot. He's been hit. 5, 4, 3, 2. He's dead. MG25 killed him. Okay, so this is actually a pretty good game for the Jackson. The BDRG-1B is being swamped by 2E25, but there's nothing I can do. I'm not fast enough to get back. So I'm going to carry on pushing along the bottom. The KB3's been spotted. This has actually been a pretty good game for the Jackson. There's still the BK, and there's the BK. He bounced off me, luckily, so I want to shoot him. I bounced, get back in behind the cover here, using the terrain to the advantage of the Jackson. 1 second, poke out, and he got me. So, that's not a bad game for the Jackson. 1,139 damage dealt. We did have a 39% chance to win, and that VK got lucky that I just poked out enough for him to shoot me. Yeah, it looks like just enough, and even if he hadn't, I would have just been swamped by those 2E25s there anyway. So that's been it for this replay, and this has been the review on the M36 Jackson, Tier 6 American tank destroyer. Pretty well armoured, pretty good gun, but quite slow. However, if you play this thing correctly, which I kind of did there, then it can be a very strong and powerful tank. So this has been MandKXbox. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment and subscribe. This has been Moggy Ben, and goodbye.